Hey, what's up everyone, it's Rafal, and today is the last day I'm actually making a video in this location. I'm moving to the new office, so video about that soon. But today we're working on iPhone 6 that has no service. It's very typical for iPhone 6 and 6 Plus to have that issue. So this solution is going to work on phones that have obviously no service, but also when you dial star pound 06 pound, you should get an IMEI number. In this case, you can see that nothing is happening, but also when you go to settings, general about, you should have modem firmware here. If you don't have it, you might have a different issue. So in this case, we're going to run a jumper wire. This is kind of common solution, but what I'm going to do is run it without removing the baseband. So this is my new way that I've been using for a while. It works really good and saves time on rebolting the baseband, which sometimes there's some days that it's very hard to reball that stuff for some reason. So this is a quick, dirty way to make that phone work again. Okay, so to get to the baseband, we have to remove this shield. So first thing I like to do is actually remove the bottom shield first, because when you're heating the top one, which is, you have to use quite a bit of heat, pretty much almost max out my machine. This bottom bracket or the shield is actually cooling the top. So I remove this one first, that way it's a little bit easier to remove this sucker off of here. So I always put a little bit of flux just to help to melt this solder here. This requires a lot of heat. Okay, so you want to grab your jumper wire just as usual, and what we're going to do is tin the very tip of that wire, and I usually do that on the shield, something metal. Use some flux, let it solder, and tin the very tip, and also make sure that that solder is very thin, it's not squished, and you should have something like this. Once you flip the baseband and look it under the angle on the bottom, you're gonna see those two vias where you usually solder the jumper wire to those balls over there. The left one in this case. I just scratch a straight line towards the SIM tray just to make myself a guide in which way I'm gonna put the jumper wire to. You don't have to worry about damaging anything, because that's just a ground plane. And then what I do with the jumper wire, I just bend it 90 degrees and have that tip be kind of in the middle of that small chip, because that's where the solder ball under the baseband is, so it matches perfectly. Once you have that done, you want to just clean up that ground plane for the shield so it's not rough, and align the jumper wire with that scratch. It's easier to use two tweezers, and once you shove it in under the baseband, you're gonna feel that wire actually hitting the ball, and it will just stop. And once you feel that, you just leave it alone. So we're gonna apply some fresh flux and just heat that corner. I don't particularly reflow the whole chip, just that corner, and you're gonna see that jumper wire get sucked in. Kind of looks like conception, but you're gonna be able to tell that that ball was melted and that jumper wire is connected. There you go. And just like 2-3 seconds of that, and then you're done. Then you want to move that wire, put it through that hole in the middle of the board, not through that screw hole, because we're gonna need to solder it to the other side of the board. Now there are 5 circles, and we want to solder to the second closest one to that hole. First you want to scratch off that fabric paint, and you want to see the shiny copper. Then use some flux and let it solder that jumper wire to that pad. And after that, you just want to clip it with how you call it, with the with the razor blade, and you're done. Let's fire this up and see if this worked. Let's put T-Mobile's SIM card. Okay, and we're in. It says searching, and we got voicemail, which is usually a good sign. And we got IMEI. Still saying no service, but T-Mobile should connect in a second. But that's progress. 06 pound. We got service, T-Mobile right here, and this will be working just fine. So this is a quick, dirty way of making jumper wire. I'm moving next door to the bigger office, and there's gonna be some cool things happening. Stay tuned for that. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you later in the next video.